Welcome, race fans, once again here to LSRTV, and tonight we're here at the dirt track at Charlotte under the lights for some great racing as always. Alongside myself in the booth, Charles Wooten is going to be Greg Rentz. Greg, another night under the lights here, this time at Charlotte dirt track for some racing. Yeah, it's going to be a good race. I expect to see some good things.
I'm sorry, Charles. Had to adjust my headset real quick. I'm excited to head to Charlotte here tonight with the NASRA Midget Series. Round number 5 of the Pulse Poppers Midgets presented by NASRA. Charlotte Dirt Track. This was the site of my first ever dirt broadcast here on LSRTV a few months ago. You kind of remember the story of getting chucked into that one at the last second, like literally 5 seconds before on air. It's like, hey, you're here. Let's do it. Okay. But this time we're at Charlotte with the midgets. Looking forward to this round number 5. And again, going back to last week, I think we have finally found our answer to the question of does anyone have anything for Dylan Yeager. We have found the guy who can match up with Yeager here, and that is Tiernan, who picked up the win last week and is looking strong again. You have several other drivers who have been close knocking on the door, including the Winter Brothers and Spangler, among others, in this series. But with Tiernan in the play, this adds a whole new dynamic here to Charlotte this week and the remainder of the season.
Yeah, it's going to add a new dynamic to this series for sure. As the dirt track at Charlotte, a very iconic track. Obviously, a lot of big races held here each year. But tonight, it may be big series and big cars that are usually here. Tonight, not the case. We're running probably, arguably, one of the smallest forms of racing you can have, midgets, with the exception of maybe some go-karts and stuff like that. But I would not want to see a go-kart on this track. Although it is a small track, probably just a tad too big for, an outlaw kart or something like that. But just perfect here. These little midgets. Is about 2.5 minutes left on the clock before we get into qualifying. Well, I would say a small field. It says stacked up to 15, which is about what we had last week and the week before. So they're holding steady here at about 15 or so drivers each week. So the competition is definitely there up at the front, and they're holding that car count right on 15. So a steady car count as well.
Yeah, it's 15 for the last 3 weeks or so, after we had roughly 20 to 22 for the first couple of weeks. But it's really, the drop in car count from the start hasn't really hindered the product at all. It's been spectacular racing out of these guys. Dylan Yeager winning the first 3 races, then Tiernan picking up the win last week, of course. But that has not at all meant that it's been a snoozer of a series thus far. These guys have been putting on a fantastic show every single week here on LSRTV, and we are so happy to have them on board here with LSRTV. Only 2 drivers have visited victory lane. Them, of course, we mentioned it, Dylan Yeager and James Tiernan. Tonight at Charlotte, though, one of the historic venues of the dirt track scene, one of the original ones from iRacing here from when they released dirt, and we're looking forward to seeing these midgets rip around for 35 laps plus 2 8-lap heat races tonight.
Yeah, about for the part 2 8-lap heat races. Those will be in and out very quickly. And then, of course, like you mentioned, 35 laps. And, for anyone that's new here, that wasn't originally week 1. We were slated for 50 laps. And as we were kind of wondering, because, we had covered the Power Eye Midget Eye Nationals not too long ago, we were wondering, are they going to be able to make it on fuel? That was a concern that we had here in the booth, knowing the little bit of knowledge we had, and sure enough, come to find out, they could not make it on fuel, and they cut the race down to 35 laps prior to coming in. Unfortunately, the carrier pigeon did not get that memo to us in time, but we did find out about it after we got here at the track.
Yeah, so we will see how it goes here tonight. This 35 laps. So someone just went for a ride there on pit road as the drivers have wrapped up practice and they're just having a little bit of fun now, getting ready for qualifying, which is going to come up here and get underway in about 5 seconds as our drivers complete their last couple of laps. Drivers are going to head to the pits now, and we will see them get set to qualify here at the Charlotte Dirt Track, a historic venue, host of the World Finals every October and into November. But Charles, we don't get to see midgets here a whole lot in real life, so this is something we're gonna have a lot of fun with tonight.
Yeah, we are definitely going to have a blast here covering this. We'll jump right into it as qualifying underway, and we'll get those lap times up. And of course, out first, last week's winner, James Tiernan in the number 98 machine, as he is going to rock it. That machine, we'll see just where he actually stacks up though.
Tiernan qualified second last week, but was on top of the boards when we last looked in practice before it wrapped up. So Tiernan, no doubt, looking to back up his win last week with another one here at Charlotte. Remember, he said it was only the second time he'd ever driven a midget at Weedsport last week. Parked it in victory lane, dominating the race, looking to do it again on top of the board right now at a 16.459. That's quickest of the two drivers to go out thus far. Tiernan looking to set the bar high for the rest of the field. A little bit slower there on the second lap, 16.572. Now all eyes will point to the number 48 of Dylan Yeager, who's still sitting on pit road right now, has yet to go out. Rhett Tucker lays down a lap in the number 99. Good to see Tucker back after a couple of weeks off here. He's been tearing it up on the asphalt side here of NASRA. Been winning a lot of cup races, a lot of Xfinity races in the NASRA ranks over the last couple of weeks, but coming back out to play on dirt tonight. We have a new man up top. It's Stewart in the number 72. Jeffrey Stewart, one of those new drivers to the series this week, and he just goes to the top. So all of a sudden, another driver having something to say about this series. Nice lap for Stewart at the 16.423.
Yeah, definitely a good run for him. Tiernan still behind him. Michael Spangler right now in that number 30 machine. We'll see where he goes. He's currently fifth as he'll bring it to a stop on the track. Donnie Martin, one of the Martins sitting there on track, as we'll jump back over to him later. Ryan Winter in the number 4. He's somebody we really thought was going to be the next person per se to take the win from Yeager. It hasn't happened yet, but he's definitely here and ready to make something happen. Surprisingly and not, Justin Winter, his brother, not racing here tonight so far.
And no sign of Justin Winter, so it's going to be Ryan Winter holding the candle for the Winter family, and that will make it to where we have the Winters even. Look who just went to the top. 3-time winner this season and 4-time pole award winner Dylan Yeager in the 48 just went to the top. You're watching Brandon Martin in the number 46, but Dylan Yeager, he has set fast time all 4 races so far this season, and looks like he may have just done it again as only one driver left. It's Crocker there in the 15, yet to take a lap, as you saw Martin have issues there at the end of his lap catching the tire. Good news for him is they can get the backup car out real quick. Only one yet to go out of our 15 cars is number 15, Croker. No sign of them taking the track just yet, with a minute 45 left in qualifying. Just one more bullet for Dylan Yeager to dodge, and he will have pole number 5 of the season, and he would remain perfect in that regard. Stewart, Winter, Tiernan, Scott, your top 5. Checkered flag has been displayed. Crocker will not qualify. Dylan Yeager has his 5th pole of the season.
Yeah, and real quickly, we will not talk about this a whole lot just because we don't want to, but I want to point out real quick, I'm noticing some little issues with the stream. We do apologize for those. I think something got set in the wrong checkbox when we were redoing the computer here for the stream. So we do apologize for that. So we'll try to get that sorted out, and we'll let you know here if it does get sorted out. If not, we'll just run through it. But Greg, heat race number 1 getting ready to come out on to the track.
Here we go. Inside lane heat race is going to determine the inside lane for this heat race. 8 drivers set to take to the grid. Let's take a look at who we got. We've got Dylan Yeager in the number 48. We've got Ryan Winter in the number 4, Tommy Scott in the 04, Anthony Job, one of the Pro Series drivers, back in it. That's Brandon Martin in the 46, Rhett Tucker in the 99. Then you got Allen and Croker, your final row. Still no sign of Croker. Looks like he may be in the admin position tonight, if I'm seeing this correctly.
That does look to be the case. He's either admin or scratch. Either way, he ain't in the race, so we'll let him be.
Maybe he's admin and he has an itch that he has to scratch.
There you go. We just don't know. But what we do know is heat race number 1 getting ready to get underway. Dylan Yeager, no surprise. And Ryan Winter, no surprise there to see him on row number 1. It'll be a good one to see. And interesting here, as you see the 48 holding back just a tiny little bit. As we'll go to a wider angle. You know, you go up here to a wide angle at this track and you really see just how big this track is compared to these itsy bitsy little tiny midgets, as you could probably fit 6 of these things wide, Greg, as we come to take the green flag.
It definitely is in the conversation for 6, up around 5, maybe 6 if you really get creative with it. As the green flag falls, inside lane heat race is underway. Look at Ryan Winter get a big gap there on the initial start for Dylan Yeager. And remember, Winter, he is not shied away from going after Dylan Yeager either. He is yet to finish ahead of him, though. Looks like he may have a shot at it here. 1 heat race win on the season for Winter. He's going to lead lap number 1, and he's got himself a nice gap over Dylan Yeager, who's up on the cushion. Don't look now. Anthony Job with a move to the inside as well. Scott.
Yeah, these guys are just duking it out side by side, bumper to bumper. Right now, Yeager, Job, and now Tucker. Red Tucker's going to take that fourth spot away, as now Job's going to take over the 3rd position. But again, we told you earlier, the race, it never disappoints when you come here. There may not be a 40, 50, 60 car field, but it doesn't matter. With these 15 guys, they put on a heck of a show for you. As right now, it's Dylan Yeager and Job that are trying to battle it out, but right now Yeager has that position. As we are coming on next time by, will be halfway home here in heat race number 1.
But how good is it to see Rhett Tucker back in the field in that number 99 here, Charles? It's been quite a bit of time since we've seen him. He's been racing in other NASRA sanctioned series. He's been racing in the Xfinity series presented by Sneed's Construction. That's not aired on LSRTV, Sneed Competition Design, excuse me. But he has been winning a lot of races on that series. But so good to have him back here in a midget here this weekend, back on LSRTV. He ran a couple of other series with us in the past. So good to have him back here on dirt. Here he is running in 4th right now in a battle with Scott for 5th. But it is all about the 4 car. Ryan Winter looking to finally get one up on Dylan Yeager tonight.
Yeah, Dylan Yeager looking to make things happen, but he's got to get through Ryan Winter if he wants to do it here tonight, as it just has been a good night for Ryan Winter so far. Again, and I say so far because he still has a bit of a way to go as the white flag is out for this lap, the final lap, and there it is. Your Heat Race 1 winner is going to be Ryan Winter. We'll move on to your final heat race tonight, just like every other week. 2 heat races and a 35-lap feature. And we'll be done very quickly. Really, Greg, like we mentioned earlier off air, it's going to come down to if they run that full 10 minutes out for the warm-up. If they don't, we could be in and out of here in, 45 minutes.
It could be very quickly. And by the way, for those at home keeping track, that is the first time that Dylan Yeager has not visited Victory Lane here in the Pulse Poppers Midget Series. And we understand that the series president, Keith Bradley, has requested for Coker's requested for Croker to send him a message and get a hold of him. So Croker, if you're watching the broadcast, please do that as we get set for our second heat race, the outside lane heat race. Stewart, Tiernan, your front row. Spangler, who's had some great runs to start the season off. Not Steppy. Martin, that's Donnie Martin in the 51, and then Osment rounding out this 7-car field. 14 cars going to take the green flag.
Yeah, so if you got the series admin, getting a hold of you saying, hey, get a hold of me, is that kind of like the principal saying, hey, come to the principal's office over the PA system? I mean, do we know what happened? Did he maybe push another kid off the monkey bars? I mean, do we know what happened there?
And do we know? Well, I can tell you everyone else had the same reaction we all did when we were in school. Ooh.
Yeah. See, we had the liberty of not having a very bright principal when I was in elementary school, and a kid actually went to the principal's office to get licks, and he forgot to turn the PA system off. so he came back to the class later that day or whatever, 10 minutes later, and acted all tough and stuff like, dude, we heard it all over the PA. You were crying. Anyway.
Gotta love those old stories. As we're back underway here for the outside lane heat race, and look at last week's winner, James Tiernan, able to get right up. One car having an issue, and we got contact back there. That was not who's got Pulse Poppers, the series sponsor, on board, and yeah, that car's a little worse for wear. Yeah. Fortunately, they will be able to get the backup car out for the main event, but definitely not having the way he wanted this race to start. No pun intended. I apologize for that. I'll see myself out. Charles.
Yeah, I was about to come up with myself. The Pulse Popper sponsor machine just got popped one good right in the door panel. And Cody, obviously the owner of Pulse Poppers here, presenting this whole series. And unfortunately not going the way he wants it to right now. But Stewart, who was fast in qualifying, he's sitting in second place right now. Tiernan, no surprise there. Last week's winner sitting in the first position. Spangler sitting right there in third in the number 30 machine. So three very fast drivers sitting 1, 2, and 3, and they're actually coming up on Cody Knott. I believe they may potentially put him a lap down here shortly. And no, I stand corrected. That was actually Tiernan that I saw just ahead of the 72.
Remember how close Spangler was to getting that win at Lernerville 2 weeks ago? Just 7/100ths of a second, and he has been trying to get it ever since week number 2. Had 2 fantastic runs to get podiums, and then another podium last week at Weedsport with a second place finish to Tiernan as well. So Spangler has finished on the podium 3 times this season. Only Dylan Yeager has also been able to do that. So Spangler with a shot to make some history here, at least for the season. But Tiernan leading the way, and Tiernan showing that last week was not a fluke, and he's going to be very tough to beat as Spangler and Stewart go to battle for second as the white flag falls on this second heat race.
Yeah, and again, we'll have a little break after this one. We'll see just how long that break is going to be. But of course, it is happening right after this, as that'll do it for heat race number 2. It's going to be Tiernan, Spangler, Stewart, Martin, Seppi, Osment, and Knott, who got a shot to the side of the car, and he'll round out your 7-car field here in heat race number 2, and your final heat race. And there you'll see it right there. 9 minutes on the clock, 10 minutes on the clock for a warm-up. So of course we'll step away here. We'll find out if they are going to run it all out. So Greg, this is the time we like to refer to this as a refreshment / restroom break. But save for the fans out there watching. This is time to get something to drink, something to snack on, and do what you got to do before that 35 lap feature.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Remake.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as gritting time is underway, and of course, quickly going to get to that as if not, we'll run out of time. So we're going to quickly get to the grid as soon as everybody jumps onto it. And the majority of them have, so we will jump into your grid here for tonight. As on row 1, it is going to be none other than Ryan Winter and James Tiernan. Well, that's going to be a powerhouse of a group right there. Row 2 is going to be Dylan Yeager and Michael Spangler. Those are going to be 2 more very fast drivers, Greg.
Yeah, keep your eyes on both of them. Yeager with 3 wins on the season. Spangler, 3 podiums on the season to tie him with most of those this season. Anthony Job, the pro driver, going to start in the 5th position with Jeffrey Stewart, new to the series, posted the second quick time here tonight. So keep your eyes on that number 72, looking for a bounce back though after finishing third in his heat race. Rhett Tucker in the number 99, good to have him back in the field as well. Donnie Martin, he's been close a couple of times, Charles, but hasn't been able to break through yet. He rolls off 8th.
In the 5th row, going to be the 04 of Tommy Scott Jr. and the 21 of Evan Steppe. Row 6 going to be Brandon Martin in the 46, and the 53 of Scott Osment, who actually going to be a scratch here for tonight's race, Greg.
So it's a shame we won't get him. Nolan Allen in the number 38 going to roll off inside of row number 7, which is your final row, with Cody Knotts shotgun on the field in 14th. So 13 drivers going to make the call for this 35 lap race here at Charlotte. Here we go. Round number 5 of the NASRA Pulse Poppers Midget Series is in the hands of Ryan Winter as they come off turn number 4. We are getting set to go. The Silverado is going to duck on the pit road right now. Charles, here we go.
It is just about showtime. Unfortunately, we do not have our normal static cams here, so we get to go right into racing. We do apologize. We're working on getting all static cams for every one of these tracks, but we are ready to sleeve some dirt, rip it, and let it fly as the green flag is out, and we are racing. It's going to be Tiernan out front, followed by Winter, Spengler, Yeager, and Stewart. Your top 5 with Job already getting in there, but again, Osment and Crooker going to be scratches here for tonight's AV feature race. And can we go possibly caution-free here tonight?
Well, fly jobs like that are going to make that kind of hairy, as Winter threw a beauty there on Tiernan. Look at Yeager in the 48 down on the bottom. Now, Charles, this is the first time all season that Dylan Yeager did not lead him to green flag, as he did not win the heat race. We have a caution for the first time here tonight on lap number 2. We went caution free last week, so first time in a minute we've had that. As we take a look at a swag replay, I believe it may be Cody Knott there in that black and green machine that may be
and right
the
there.
reason. Right there, there's some contact. Spins out. Now, he did not roll over, so he will be allowed to continue. Remember, that is a league rule that if you flip over, you're done for the day.
Yeah, he didn't flip over, and really no fault of his own there. Got a little bit of contact from a driver in front of him, and they just slightly... These cars are very tough to drive. I know a lot of people, when they think of midgets, if they're not familiar with all types of racing, you know, they know sprint cars and late models and modifieds, because that's what most tracks run. And a lot of people's knowledge of midgets are Kyle Larson at the Chili Bowl. And yes, Kyle Larson is a beast. He makes these things look like they're the easiest thing in the world to handle. The only thing that seems to slow Kyle Larson down is an engine blowing up and costing him a win. But trust me, they are a lot harder to drive than you might think they are. They are probably one of the toughest things to drive out there, because they are basically, in my opinion, like a little stack of TNT. They're a lot of power with a little bit of weight.
Noticing something, Charles. All season long, we've been operating under caution laps do not count, but look at that ticker. These caution laps are counting, so not sure if there was a change in the rules to try to help with fuel for this one because of what we saw in the Power Eye race, but caution laps are counting here in this one as the green flag falls. We are working lap number 6 after we only completed 2 laps on that first one.
Yeah, we'll have to clarify that. I know Keith Bradley is out there watching, and this could just be a little error on the admin's behalf, as typically caution laps do not count. And I know Keith Bradley, the guy putting it on, has been stuck at work the last 2 weeks. He's been unable to make it, so this could have just been a simple clerical error on the behalf of race control. It has happened, no fault to them. We won't chastise them too much. We've seen it happen in the Northwest Cup and Truck Series plenty of times, and we still like Jeff. Yeah. So I
mean, come on. I mean, the truck race at New Hampshire took, what, 3 weeks to finish off from the drop of the green flag?
There you go. We've seen it before, and right now doing a good job, and we have a slight problem here. Greg, we may have to shut this off, so can you cover for me just for a minute?
And Dylan Yeager's having some problems also in the number 48. So we are rolling along here, working lap number 10. Tiernan out in front, and Dylan Yeager is struggling right now in that number 48. He has fallen back to 10th. So that dominating 3-run stretch to start the season off may be over, as we have a car sliding up there, and we are under caution here for the second time tonight. And I believe it's Osmond in the number 53 that went for the slide. Again, having some issues in the production truck, so we're going to work on getting you the swag replay as soon as we can. But Osmond looks like he is having the problems here. As you're watching Steppy right now in the 21. Tiernan still leading, Spangler second, Winter, Martin, Stewart your top 5, then Job, Steppy, who you're watching right now. And again, we apologize. There are some trouble in the production truck right now. We apologize for that, trying to get it rectified as soon as we can.
And I am back, Greg, and we're going to try our best to finish this out. However, we have a computer leak at the moment.
Oh, that's not good.
No, that is not good. We've managed to somewhat salvage the leak at the moment, but we are going to have to watch it very closely here for the remainder of this race, and hopefully it does not render its head anymore. So
I'll tell you what we'll do. I think we'll switch our production focus to focus on the leader at all times. Right now it's Tiernan in the number 98, and this is where having that slight mistake of having caution laps count, that might help out us here on LSRTV, because that means this race is going to click away quickly regardless of caution. So here's what we're going to do. I think we're going to focus purely on the race lead from here on. So whoever's leading the race at that particular moment, that's who the camera will be focused on. At this time, it's Tiernan. Then it'll be Spangler. We'll try our best to keep you updated on what's going on throughout the rest of the field, because things can get jockeying in a hurry, and hopefully with this camera package you're able to see most of the field. But because of the issues in the production truck, as the green flag falls, we'll focus on the battle for the lead, and we'll try to keep you guys updated as much as possible. If we're able to solve it, as Ryan Winter was able to solve Spangler there, crossover and by Spangler to try to fight back. It looks like we are going to be able to pick up that battle for a second, so the issues are able to be rectified for now. We're coming up a little bit, about one lap before halfway here.
Yeah, the battle heating up. We're still monitoring the issue. As it looks like a heat issue. We're going to have to get sorted out. The caution is out, and this time it's going to be back for Spangler. So we take a quick look and see.
And unfortunately not able to catch a swag replay of the last caution, but it was Osmond that had the problem. Saw him spinning here. This is Spangler for this recent caution, sitting in the 3rd spot. Believe this was the corner before. He was in 3rd position, taking a peek there. Big slide job there.
Car is demolished.
Fortunately, just wasn't clear.
He didn't go upside down. That's good news for him, but still a hard lick.
Unfortunately, I think he's coming in, and remember, I do not believe fast repairs are allowed in this series. That's the main reason for the flip over rule. You're done. I think the same thing would apply if you pound the wall like that, so I believe Spangler's night might be done. We'll keep an eye on it for sure. Remember the rally he had in 3 at Lernerville when he finished 2nd by just 7 100ths to Dylan Yeager. He had a moment like this in that race. So done it once, can you do it again is the question, if he's able to get back out there. But we're just past halfway in this one. Tiernan has led just about every lap thus far. Ryan Winter up there now in 2nd. Dylan Yeager, he has been struggling so far in this race. That's Jeffrey Stewart up there in 3rd. Anthony Job in 4th, as we work halfway right now.
Yeah, halfway done, and unfortunate for these guys that caution laps are indeed are counting, so it's going to give them a little bit less time to really work and try to get to the front if they want to get there. But it is one of those things. Sometimes it happens with the green flag back out once again. So we are racing lap 19 of 35. It'll be, there it is, lap 20 of 35. We have 16 laps to go, 15 when we get to the line, Greg.
And And we have a battle for the lead as Ryan Winter taking his shot at James Tiernan. Remember, Tiernan said he was bringing buddies, and we have to assume that Jeffrey Stewart is one of them, as he is here this weekend, and he has come to play as well in third, going after Ryan Winter in the 4-4 second here. Winter now going to the inside. Winter thinking slide job. He was able to do it to Spangler earlier. And you see right there going up the track, he's practicing that slide job for if he's able to get up there to Tiernan, and he's not going to be able to under this run. Caution's out again.
Caution is out. Not sure who it is back here. So I don't see anyone off pace, so we'll stick with the front. But, you know, you keep seeing
Donnie Martin.
Yeah, if you keep seeing these cautions as we go back to look, but if you keep seeing these cautions, Greg, as there he is slowed down on the track. Take one more quick look here. But if you keep having these cautions come out, it makes you wonder, what is it going to take to get to the front? You're not going to have a whole lot of green to do it, as we have 13 laps to go, and there was the caution. But if you're Ryan Winter right now, or Stewart, Job, Steffi, Yeager, what do you got to do to get by James Tiernan right now, especially if you don't have the laps to do it?
Hammer down, bud. That's what you got to do. Hammer down.
Hammer down indeed, and we'll just have to wait and see how it all does play out. As coming there, it's going to be 12 to go, and the lights off. Yes, they are, so it will be 11 lap shootout when they take the green flag one more time.
Let's see what we can hook up here for this 11 lap shootout. Tiernan looking for back-to-back wins after Yeager started off with 3 on the season. He fell outside of the top 10 in that number 48. By the way, he's up to 6th. There he is right there, 6th in line in his Rocket Racing entry. So Yeager not done yet, but he is having to slice through the field, something we have not seen out of him yet, but he's doing a fantastic job of it as the green flag falls. 11 laps to go.
There we go. Mike not wanting to cooperate with us, but Tiernan out front. Winter, he's right there with him, but he just can't quite catch him. We'll see as he reels him in, but just can't make that pass stick. And he's going to have to maybe throw a haymaker in here if he wants to get by. But look at the battle behind him right now for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah, this is awesome. Dylan Yeager, Donnie Martin, Anthony Job. Company all in there. Excuse me, that was Job I was looking at, not Donnie Martin. Martin is trying to close in. That's Brandon Martin trying to close in right now. Only 2 cars out of the race right now. Osmond, who did not make the start of the race. Remember, he had the scratch, and Croker did not qualify for tonight's main event. As they slide away, 8 laps to go, they're all chasing Tiernan, and the way he's been able to open it up lately, you have to think he's on cruise control for 2 in a row. As lap traffic ahead now of 98 of Tiernan, that is the 38 of Nolan Allen.
And Nolan Allen right there, another, I believe, new driver here. And will lap traffic play a factor? That's going to be a good question, as we're waiting to see that right now. And yes, he will catch him. It looks like he's just going to sail by, no problems, no questions asked, as the 38's going to stay down on the bottom and let him go. The question is, if you're Ryan Winter, are you going to get by as easily, or was that just a leader thing?
We'll see here as they rip away. Ryan Winter, best finish of the season is a 2nd. That came week number 2 at Volusia Speedway Park. Dylan Yeager, he has a shot here to match his best finish of the season, or perhaps get it even up one, as there's 4 laps to go here at the Charlotte Dirt Track. Tiernan has led them all thus far, and the way he's driving right now, you have to think he is on cruise control for back-to-back victories after winning that Weedsport last week here at Charlotte. Next week, we're headed to Knoxville, another legendary dirt track, so a chance for Tiernan to really do something here. And I'm wondering if maybe we can convince these guys to maybe bring some other toys to Knoxville next week, Charles. Maybe something that is known for running every Saturday night at Knoxville, if we can convince enough guys to do it.
I definitely don't see why we could not convince him of it. I think we could, as we'll see as there is 2 laps to go here for your race leader. Going to be coming to get the white flag this time by, as again going to be 1 lap to go. There it is right there, your CRN, 1 to go for your race leader, James Tiernan. And it looks like, Greg, as you mentioned, he's going to go back-to-back victories here tonight.
Ryan Winter going to get his second best finish of the season. And how about Dylan Yeager fights back to finish 3rd here tonight? So Dylan Yeager, after falling outside of the top 10 early, rallies back to finish 3rd. No doubt Yeager going to build some momentum after being able to pass all those cars, but it's James Tiernan back-to-back tonight, and much like we saw at Weedsport last night, he's going to do some donuts on the front stretch. That's not easy in a midget.
No, that is definitely not easy to do in a midget at all. As he'll celebrate, and while he celebrates, we'll go through your unofficial race results. Coming away with the win is going to be James Tiernan, and of course right behind him going to be Ryan Winter and Dylan Yeager. His worst finish of the season, I do believe. Might not be, we'll have to confirm on that, but either way, still a top 3, but used to seeing him in victory lane, followed by Jeffrey Stewart, Michael Spangler, Evan Steffi, Brandon Martin, Rhett Tucker, Anthony Job, and Donnie Martin rounding out your top 10.
Rounding out the field in this one was Tommy Scott Jr. in the 04, Cody Knott in the number 12. Nolan Allen was the only driver to not finish on the lead lap. Scott Osment and Jacob Croker did not start the race.
All right, that'll do it, of course, for your unofficial race results. We'll wait for these guys to get here within radio communication. We'll be right back here in just a few moments as we talk to the top 3 here in the post-race show.
Welcome back to Charlotte, everybody. Charles is going to call it a night as far as speaking goes to try to help out in the production truck and figure out what's going on with those issues. So I've got the top 3 here with me. We're going to start off with 3rd place, Dylan Yeager. And Dylan, kind of an up and down night for you here. Setting fast time, finishing 2nd in your heat race, and then something happened on the start of the race. You fell outside the top 10 right as the caution came out the first time. First question, what happened there around lap 5 or so?
Just me being an idiot. I tried to go to the bottom and make something work. I ran my fastest lap in the warm-up on the bottom, and I thought, maybe if I could hit it the right way, I could maybe take the lead. But nope, went from 4th to 10th in about 4 laps, so that really didn't work out.
Well, Dylan, tell us about charging through the field after that, because it seemed like every time we checked in with you for the remainder of the race, you had chipped away a little bit more. You were up to 8th, and you were up to 6th, and then finally coming down to the end, we looked up, you were in 4th going for 3rd, and you wound up getting 3rd. So tell us about that rally, and what goes through your mind when you know you've only got 30 laps or so to get up there?
Yeah, I was just trying to be patient. Wasn't trying to end my run. I knew I had a car that was probably top 3 capable. I mean, some of the guys that I was racing with seemed like they're being pretty desperate for their spots. So I was just trying to make sure that, I didn't get fenced or anything and get around them nice and clean.
Well, Dylan, 3 wins to start the season. A disappointing night last week at Weedsport. Didn't get to talk to you at that one. And now a 3rd here after a rally at Charlotte. So it's been a pretty successful season for you. You should still maintain a pretty solid grip on the points lead. Next week, we head to Fairbury here for the first time for the Pulse Poppers Midgets. What are you expecting next week at Fairbury?
Fairbury's my favorite track, so I have pretty high hopes going into it. I feel like every race that I'm in, and whether it's a late model or a midget, I always do well. So high hopes going into that. Hopefully we can come home with another top 3 over there at Fairbury.
Yeah, Fairbury coming up next week. I said Knoxville on the broadcast. That's actually 2 weeks from tonight. My apologies for that one. But Dylan, 3rd place here tonight. 3 wins on the season for you, but another great run for you. Who do you think?
Yeah, thanks for doing the broadcast as always. Keith and Cody for running the league. All my sponsors, Rocket Racing Setups, Reliable Energy Solutions, Gross Designs, Milner Beanie Design, Super Racing Media, and Flood Drive Properties.
3rd place, Dylan Yeager. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coming home in a 2nd place was Ryan Winter. And Ryan, you were charging there at the end as James was able to get away a little bit on the restart there, but much like what we were watching with Dylan, it seemed like every time you checked in, you were getting a little bit closer, just not enough laps on that last run there. But all in all, pretty solid night for you. A heat race win and a 2nd here tonight.
Yeah, racing with James and Dylan, just running with them makes me happy. Looking back at it, probably if I didn't do those sliders that went nowhere and James would get away from me at the end, I think I might have had a little something for him, but definitely James and Dylan, they're super fast and just trying to keep up. And I felt like the car was really good. The slide line 3 and 4 is working, and top of 1 and 2 is really coming in. I wish we had 55 laps, not 35 laps. Could have been running the cushion towards the wall, but overall it was a good night.
Well, obviously the pup's excited for a 2nd place finish. Ryan, it's your 3rd podium of the season. After missing the first week at Eldora, you have been a staple here on the podium, as the only other night that you did not finish on the podium was that race last week at Weedsport when you had issues there on the very beginning of that race with the connection issues. So pretty much when you're able to complete the race, you get a 3rd plate or a podium. So all in all, pretty successful season so far.
Yeah, it's always nice to make the podium. It really sucks finishing 2nd and 3rd, but it's not lack of trying. Really trying out different grooves and just having fun. Yeah, the dogs are going crazy because my wife and kids got home. And that's what's really it's all about. Racing's fun, but the family is what's really about, and they love racing too. So video game or real life, it's that's what our family's about.
Always awesome to have the family support. Well, you mentioned that it's not as much fun finishing the 2nd and 3rd when you get or when you can be up there winning the race. Next week, you have another shot to win at Fairbury. We already heard Dylan's pretty confident about heading in there next week. What are your thoughts heading into Fairbury?
Well, when he said that's his favorite track, I got deflated because I hate the track. I like it if it goes to the top. I'm not very good at running at the bottom, but I'm just going to try my best. In 2 weeks, I won't be racing. I'll be at a national real racing. So hopefully I could figure out Fairbury and beat these guys next week.
So not going to see you in 2 weeks at Knoxville. So for the big win at Fairbury next week, Ryan, your 3rd podium of the season. Who got you here?
First of all, my mom, my dad, and my wife, I couldn't do in real life or here without them. M&M Chassis, Dwarf World, and DRI, I couldn't do without them.
2nd place, Ryan Winter. Congratulations. And coming home with his 2nd win of the season and back-to-back, still undefeated on the season as he has won his only 2 main events, James Tiernan. Boy, ever since you joined the series, you have put it on notice. It has been a great couple of weeks for you. A win last week, win tonight at Charlotte. Man, what is it about this series that just really seems to work for you?
Man, it's just midgets. They're some of my favorite cars on the sim. Been doing it since pretty much I got the sim a little while ago, and really devoted my time to non-wing, and that kind of shows in races like this. I was kind of hoping that track would burn off a bit more. I'm very good usually when it comes to late stage in a race. That was kind of still intermediate. Wish the track had kind of burned off a bit more, but still was able to do what I needed to do, and pretty much kept Winter at bay for much of that race, so can't complain.
Well, last week you said it was only your 2nd time ever racing a midget at Weedsport. It looked like you had a little bit more experience here at Charlotte. Did that come into play at all, the extra laps here at Charlotte?
I think so. I think when you run the cushion there, Charlotte's pretty unique. Not many tracks run the cushion quite like Charlotte, but it's also good to be kind of fluid when it comes to that kind of stuff, because as you kind of saw with the different lines, Winter was throwing the slider line, he was keeping pace. It's not faster than me for some of that. So really coming up with your own line depending on track conditions, because every track's going to wear differently, especially depending series to series and who you're racing against. Like the Pro Series versus a normal official race, the tracks burn in super differently because it all depends on where everyone else is running. So while it's good to have laps at any track, I'm never going to say that. I think it's not so important so much in dirt series.
All right, Fairbury next week. We've heard these guys' thoughts. What's your thoughts heading into it next week?
Well, I'm glad it's Dylan's favorite track. We'll see what he can bring when he's at his best. So far, I've been the better of everyone in this field, and to have someone kind of come and challenge me a little bit more, I think that'd be a lot of fun, especially for the broadcast. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, James, it's your second win of the season. Back-to-back main event wins for you. So for the second week in a row, you're in victory lane, and you can thank your sponsors.
I appreciate it. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Pulse's Poppers for sponsoring my car. They make premium topwater flies, and they look really good. I plan on ordering some because I'm planning to move out to Oregon soon. Doing fly fishing is what I plan to do out there. I'd also like to thank Bergout Real Estate. I'd really like to thank them recently for helping me make a recent move. It seems I've been living in everyone's head here for the last 2 weeks, and I've been living there rent-free, so we'll see how this kind of continues. Besides that, I'd like to thank Anderson Speedway, home to the Little 500, Motorsports Beat, Jessup Logistics, Paints by the Tuna Can, BS Air, Over the Wall Photography, Roofco, Cash Fence Apparel, and Fairway Independent Mortgage Corp.
Well, if you're moving to Oregon, then we'll have to meet up soon because I'm going to live just north of you up in Washington. That's where I reside. So maybe we'll get to meet up at some point here once the move is complete. But back-to-back wins for James Tiernan here. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
And with that, we have wrapped up another one here. Checking in real quick with our producer to see if he is going to be able to come back to the tower and give us his final thoughts. Here, Charles, do we have you, or are you still down in the truck?
We are back. Final thoughts. Good race overall. A good track, fun track, and fittings popping off of a computer in a water cooling system right in the middle of a race, not so good. Racing good, computer parts trying to fly off the computer, not good during the race. But nevertheless, we got it sorted out. We're going to keep playing with that. It looks like we need a little bit more cooling. Fan didn't quite cool it properly, but definitely a good night of racing here at Charlotte.
All right, well, it was awesome. But, Charles, that was a great night here at Charlotte. Looking forward to next week at Fairbury. We know Dylan Yeager is excited for it. Sounds like everyone else is as well. So, Charles, this is your series, so I'll let you finish them off.
All right, again, congrats to James on the win in behalf of myself, Greg, and everybody else at LSRTV. We hope you enjoyed tonight's race, and we'll be back here next Thursday night with some more racing. And take a little bit of a break, though. We are off this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll be back Thursday. So we are off for 1 week, and we'll see you again here for the Pulse Popper Midget Series presented by NASRA.